CEO Success Circle, and this morning we're going to be looking at Google Analytics. My name is Lowell Ann, and in my coaching and consulting work, I help solopreneurs stay focused and motivated as we take their business to the next level. And we use some pretty simple structures and easy technology. So we'll be right back after this. Greetings wherever you are, and welcome to Being Your Own CEO. This is a weekly success circle intended as a support to solopreneurs. We get together because we enjoy each other's company, and we also like experimenting and exchanging information, and we all give and receive support. You can discover, boy, I'm tongue-tied this morning, it seems. You can discover what we stand for by viewing the operating principles on the video page, VCP page, on beingyourown.ceo.com. I want to welcome our visitors and invite them to tell us who they are and where they are and what they're up to. But now I would like to invite our panelists who are with us this morning to introduce themselves. So let's see, who shall I invite? Nancy, you were here really early. How would you like to go first? And I know that you're sort of on a time restraint this morning.
Well, thanks a lot, Lowell Ann. Thanks for having me here. It's always lovely to get the information and be part of this community. So thank you for hosting. I'm Nancy Kreitz here in Victoria, BC. It's beautiful and sunny out here today. We love it every day, no matter what it's like. And I'm a holistic nutritionist and a Qigong meditation instructor. And I offer the simple art of health and well-being for women over 50. So many people are out there searching and chasing the latest health trends, wasting thousands of dollars on diets, programs, and supplements that they don't even need, and that may in fact be dangerous to their health. They're worried, fearful, and lost. Does this sound familiar? Take a deep breath and relax. I've got you.
So I think we're going to be, your Qigong is this week, isn't it? Starts this week. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right on. Looking forward to that.
Be lovely to have you there.
Yeah, great. Right on. Fred, how about you?
Yes, Lowell Ann. It's Fred Jones. I'm also located in the Victoria area, although I'm in sunny tropical Langford this week. Next week I'll be in sunny tropical Oak Bay, but moving around as I normally do. I'm the creator of Our Future Leaders, which is a cutting-edge online group program and sessions for young people, help them with their communication skills, leadership skills, boost their self-confidence, which will assist them, when they become an adult, become the leaders that we really need in this world, because of all the changes that we're all facing, including them. This week, I was, excited when we had 19 young people join us for the first session of this program that we started up again. We've done it before, but it was closed down for summer at SAJ, Commonwealth Center. So the recreation center is supporting us, and it was wonderful to see 19 shiny new faces all excited to learn what we have to share with them. So it was exciting.
Oh, 19. That's great. Right on. So welcome here, Fred. Nice to have you here. Enjoy your fancy hat. David, how would you like to introduce yourself?
Have to unmute first. It works better.
Yes, it does.
My name is Dave Flannery. I'm with Affordable Websites for Small Businesses and United Country Sauk Valley Realty Team Flannery Real Estate. I'm here to moderate the chat, and we have one visitor, and I believe it's maybe you could pronounce her name, so I pronounce it right from now on.
Is it Javita?
Javita. Yes,
Aha.
Javita. And she says, welcome to all of us. I believe in it's namaste.
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 Namaste to you too, Javita.
Jivita.
Sorry.
Jivita.
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 Oh, I've got the emphasis in the wrong place.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for your help this morning, David. I really appreciate that.
You are welcome.
Vivek, how would you like to introduce yourself?
Namaste. My name is Vivekanand. People call me Vivek. I believe in simplicity. I believe in unifying, simplifying, and amplifying your life with the sophistication, but simplifying the end result. So, yeah. It's evening here where I am. I'm in England. It's 5 o'clock. It's quite a moderate day, not too bad. It's quite sunny. And in terms of news, I would be, it probably, maybe Fred would be interested. I would be talking to young enterprise people. So I don't know when I'll get to say enterprise want to beam up, but
Right. Beat me up, Scotty. So what will you be doing with the young enterprise folks?
It will be high school children. They would be starting their virtual businesses. It's a scheme run by the government and small private organizations, and this will be guiding the young students to start a business, a virtual business, run it for a year to get the entire experience of running the business. So it's a and I would be a business advisor, of course, among the lots of other people who are part of the whole organization. It's a voluntary setup, so it's not a paid role or a job. No, it's not. It's just a voluntary thing. But it's going to be interesting next few days. Tomorrow is the inauguration of this year's things to unfold. So I'll be joining as a new business advisor to the group.
So we look forward to hearing your observations of that as time goes on. Yep. That's cool.
There is the youngsters and school children. Yeah.
There is a similar program here in BC, at least, or in Victoria. I'm aware of. Yeah, I think Paul, one of our former members here, has been involved in that. Right on. Cool. Well, welcome here.
Glad to be here.
Yeah. Alana, I see you there. Can you? Yeah, you can unmute.
I popped in a few minutes. I was a few minutes late today. So my name is Alana, coming to you from Ireland, and my business is ALB Digital Marketing. And I also run a couple of websites. So yeah, I help web designers and small businesses with their websites.
Right on.
Maintenance and that sort of thing. Article writing, SEO, posting, that sort of thing.
I could have used your help yesterday.
Uh-oh. You should have pinged me. Chances are I was sitting right here at my desk. I've been flying around like a lunatic for the past couple of weeks.
Well, I did finally solve my problem, but it took me forever.
Oh, that's too bad. Well, next time, give me a ping and we can sort it out together and save yourself some headaches.
That will do, thank you. And I think there's Jay. Good morning, Jay. How are things in tropical Langford this morning?
Tropical Langford, it's balmy. I'd say it's a good 27 outside.
Yeah,
sunny.
right.
A few clouds out there. It's beautiful. Yeah, doing well. So, hi, my name is Jay, and my company is Magi Studios. And we help people get started in the world of online marketing through coach, consulting, and training. Hailing from sunny Langford, where I said it's a balmy, about 27 degrees, I'm estimating.
Ask me if I believe that.
Not a cloud in the sky and not a crime being done.
Oh, dear. Well, I'll tell you, the walk along Dallas Road this morning was gorgeous. The sunrise was unbelievable. But it certainly wasn't a balmy 27 degrees. So, oh, dear. We have fun here. So this morning we were going to talk about how to use or how to understand Google Analytics. And let me tell you, do I ever need to understand it?
You don't need to understand it. You just need to use it.
Well, but for me, I need to understand it before I can use it. Appropriately, anyway. So
It's designed by engineers and mainly for the use of the engineers. So there you have the problem. That's
well, I certainly don't have an engineer's brain, I'll tell you that, although I think I do think in a logical way, usually. But so this morning I was going to I was hoping we could begin from the point of view of the beginner. So from a beginner's perspective, can somebody say what does Google Analytics do?
From a beginner's perspective, it can tell you who whether there were any visitors to your website, how long were they there on a particular page, what device were they using, how long they were there on your page.
So in that way,
it can give you a kind of historical data about that. It also gives you at a advanced stage, it gives you capability to analyze the data and say that this page attracts more visitors, this one doesn't. So that comparison you can do later on. But to begin with, the simplest definition or use of Google Analytics is it tells you how many visitors visited. It can also tell you from where, which country.
Yes.
What device did they use, and how long they were there on a specific page on your website.
Okay. So,
I wonder whether Jay has anything to add to that.
Jay?
I can always throw in a couple cents. So a beginner interpretation, it basically tells you the behavior of your website visitors on your website.
Yeah. Well, that's...
It shows you the actions that they do.
Okay. So, a second question I have, which might seem like a dumb question, I don't know, but hey, there are no dumb questions, right? Is there a link between Google Analytics and Google Console or Webmaster Tools?
Google Console is a tool you can use to look into your analysis. It's a console, as the name suggests. It's a terminal window which will show you what's going on.
So if I can add to that.
Yeah.
So the difference between Google Search Console and which used to be called Google Webmaster Tools. And Google Analytics is Search Console tells you the behavior of your traffic, of how they landed on your site, using what keyword, what page, and what keywords you're ranking for. So it tells you the behavior of your website essentially before anyone lands on it. Google Analytics tells you the behavior of your traffic once they're on your site. So Search Console before they land on your site, Google Analytics inside your site. Is there a link? You can physically link your analytics and your Search Console so that you can acquire that data, the Search Console data, right inside the Google Analytics dashboard.
Okay. Thank you for that, Jay. That really helps me sort of figure out what the difference is. That's really useful. And before we go any further, I need to acknowledge Gina. We just see the top of your head. Welcome here. Okay, so the next thing that I think would be good for somebody just beginning would be, so what does one do to when does one set up Google Analytics, and how does one do it? So is there a good time to do that, a not so good time to do it, and then when it is a good time, where do you begin? How do you begin? Anybody? Alana?
Well, I mean, you really should set up Google Analytics as soon as you launch your website. And it's really simply a matter of creating an account, a Google account, and then getting the code to put on your website so it can connect to Google Analytics. And the sooner you do it, the better, because then you can start tracking your visitors right away. So I would say as soon as you launch your website, you should have that in place.
Okay.
I was going to say you need to consult your priest or something. No, I was joking. Yeah, I agree completely with what Alana said. As soon as possible, well, immediately you start your website, you get your Google Analytics code and incorporate that so that you know what's going on with your website.
Okay.
And on the flip side of that, if you have it set up and you don't see any visitors to your site, yet you know there's been visitors to your site, then that's an indication that your code isn't installed properly, and that can happen with simple theme change. So yeah, you want to keep an eye on that. So if you don't have any visitors, then you know that you really should have some, so you can check that out.
Well, funny you should say that, Alana, because.
Oops. Did I open up a can of worms?
Yes, you did.
Hey, we've all been there. Believe me, I've been there many times myself.
Oh, well. And we were in looking at the back end of mine, and there seems to be a bunch of different codes in there, and so all in good time, I guess.
Yeah, it can be frustrating because you know there's been visitors.
Yes, I do.
Google isn't indicating that. So the first thing you have to do is make sure your code is set up properly. So.
Well, boy, I wish somebody would show me how to turn off that darn Windows 10 notification thing. I've been everywhere. Did you hear it?
No, we didn't, but
Oh, it was so loud. I was sure you must have heard it.
There's actually, I actually heard that there's actually a pretty easy way to do that.
I read that somewhere, and I went in and tried to do it.
Oh, I know what it is. Buy a Mac, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I just before we actually start this, I always typically reboot my computer into Ubuntu, and I never use Windows 10 for anything that is useful. I use it only for playing games or entertaining myself.
I knew you were going to say that. Oh dear. Well, anyway, with this,
one of the things I find is with the same specification of the hardware, I find the Windows 10 runs very slowly on the same computer. I just boot into Ubuntu, and it runs like I don't know, supersonic speed or whatever. I run Windows 10, it
well, yeah.
very slow.
Well, I'm stuck with Windows. So anyway, we're off the topic. So I was so sure that you folks must have heard that big loud thing that I heard. Anyway, so where do we, I guess the question is, where do we begin? We go to analytics.google.com, I guess would be the place to begin. Then.
Yep. I've got a screen share ready to roll if you want.
Oh, right on. God love you.
Alrighty. Okay, so this is already an existing campaign, but I'll show you how to start a new campaign. So the first place you need to go to is on the bottom left. It says admin. So this is where you essentially start your journey. Now, if you have a brand new Google Analytics account, there'll probably be some sort of step-by-step tutorial on how to set it up. So this is assuming, so the screen that you're seeing is assuming you already have at least one Google Analytics website set up. So that being said, so the first place you need to go to is admin, which is located on the bottom left.
Mm-hmm.
From there, you will see 3 columns: account, property, and view. Now, so you can create a brand new account. You can have up to, I think it's 100 accounts. Yeah. So you can have 100 accounts. Okay, and within each of those accounts, you can have so many property. You basically have a plethora of accounts. Okay, I'm actually just going to switch my profile here. Hold on a second. Different analytics accounts. That was bizarre. It sounded like a dial-up modem there. You guys heard that? That was weird.
No, we didn't hear it.
Okay. let me just get set up here.
Gosh, what you're showing is not what I see on mine at all.
Okay. So 3 columns.
All right.
Go create account. And so it's going to ask you, here, I'll zoom in a bit so you can see. It says, well, what do you want to track? Do you want to track a website or a mobile app? So in our case, it's a website.
Mm-hmm.
And it says accounts can contain more than one tracking idea. So my new account name. So I'll say it, Jay's Awesome Website. So that's just for my own, so that I know what this is. Typically what I do is the account name is I will name it the business name.
Right.
And so let's say my website is jaysawesomewebsite.com, right? So Jay's Awesome Website, and then the website name is, I usually just do the same thing. And then I put the website. Now it says example here, so I put my full website address. And then from here, there's a little drop down, and that drop down shows you, it's like, well, is your website HTTP or HTTPS?
Mm-hmm.
In most cases, it would be HTTPS. And so we'll say www.jaysawesomewebsite.com. And industry category, so I'll say it is beauty and fitness. And then get your time zone all set up. Now, the reason why it wants your time zone is because Google Analytics has the ability to track live results, meaning it can track who's on your website at that time and at that moment.
Mm.
And then data sharing settings, just leave all of that checked. And then click Get Tracking ID. Okay, so that's the first step. Once I'm not going to click this because it's not a real website. So
Right.
Once I would click the Get Tracking ID, I would get this. Just to show you, it would say, great, here's your tracking ID, here's your code and all that kind of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now here's the tricky part, right? How the heck do you put this in or this in or whatever, right? So let's jump into a website and I can show you how that is done. So I'm going to assume that everyone has a WordPress website.
Thank God for LastPass.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the easiest way to put your tracking ID. So let's see. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'll show you the options that you can use, right? So in this case, you can go to your theme settings, and sometimes your theme settings has header scripts, a place where you can put your header script. So in this case, I can then take this code, copy, and paste it in my header script. Okay. Now, let's say your theme doesn't have this feature. From here, if you're using all-in-one SEO, which I'm not on this website, so here, one second. So why don't I get a website that has all-in-one SEO? One second here.
Did that website have Yoast?
Correct.
Wow. That would have been okay too. That's what I use.
Okay, well, with Yoast, there isn't a way to put Google Analytics code.
Oh.
There's Actually, I think there's I don't remember if there's a header or a footer. One second. Oh, here, let me just do the all-in-one SEO first.
Okay.
Just got to remember what site has all-in-one SEO. I think Football Snack Helmets has it. Yes. Okay. All right, here we are again. So all-in-one SEO. Okay, so we're at the stage where we need to get that code in our website so that it can start tracking people's behavior on your site. So all-in-one SEO. So this is right here. You go General Settings. And you scroll down about halfway, there's a thing that says Google Analytics. Right there. Okay. So you can see there's even a place for Google Webmaster Tools, or Search Console. Okay. So if you keep going and you see Google Settings, and it says Google Analytics ID. So that is this right here. So you put that in
there. Okay.
There, and that's it. Okay. So this tracking ID right there. So you would copy that, and then you would paste that in the Google Analytics ID. Okay. Paste it, and that's it. You don't need to touch anything else. Okay. Now here's a quick little tip. I think this is on by default. I don't remember. Exclude users from tracking. So if you check the administrator, which would be you inside your website would not be tracked inside the analytics. Okay. And then you press update options, and then you are good to go. And then it'll start tracking your stuff for you. Now, to verify that your tracking ID is working, it says send test traffic. So if you click that button, it actually opens up your website in a little window. And you can just, there we go, including one from test traffic, right? And it says, hey, Jay, we noticed that the test traffic worked. So you are good to go. Okay. And then that's it. And then you just have to sit for 24 hours and you'll start seeing some data coming in. Now, if you want to use all-in-one, if you're using Yoast, so we'll go to Yoast. Go to General Settings, Features, your info, the master tools. Let's see, advanced. Yeah, there's that's right. So there's no way that that you could put your code inside of Yoast, your Google Analytics code. The reason why is because they have an upsell, or they recommend Monster Analytics, which has a free and a paid version, so they get kickbacks for that.
Oh, so that's what I'm using is Monster Analytics.
Yes. So yeah, so I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that, using Monster Analytics. I personally don't use it just because I have the convenience of my theme.
Right.
Has the ability to add Google Analytics inside the theme settings. Okay. All right. Now, once you have some data coming in, all of this stuff you can literally just leave alone. Okay. You can leave it alone. So then you can get out of that admin area and you can click the home button. Now the home button is basically your Google Analytics home, your dashboard, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is your Amsterdam airport. This is your hub where it will take you in a variety of different places, okay? So from here, you can get a snapshot of how people are behaving on your website, okay? Now this dashboard is pre-set up for 7-day intervals, okay? And if you look here in the bottom left of each little box,
Yeah.
it says last 7 days. So we can see that the last 7 days, I've had 1.1, so 1,000, basically 1,100 people, right? I've had a 30% bounce rate, average session duration, meaning on average how long people have been on the pages, for 57 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
This part right here shows me my active users. So I can see that there are actually 2 people on the website right now, okay? This box right here is called Insights. This is like a little intelligence box that says, hey, we noticed something is wrong, or we noticed that you're having some great traffic to this particular page. This box tells you where people are coming from that visit your website, okay? So you can see organic, and this is set up by a bar graph. So organic search, direct, referral, social, and other. So we can see that primarily, and this is broken down again in the 7 days. So it's showing you the past 7 days. So you just mouse over and it shows you, okay, so on Thursday, 147 people came in via organic search. And organic search is when someone Googles something,
Yeah.
sees your web page in the search results and clicks on it. That's considered an organic search. Sessions by country, so it shows me where people are in the world that are visiting the site. Users by time of day, so this shows me what day and what time seems to be the most frequent time people visit my website. So interestingly enough, Monday at noon seems to be the most popular day because it's the darkest color. That's quite bizarre.
It is bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's like people hate their jobs and they're looking at my website trying to find a solution. They're on their lunch break, desperate for an alternative. So, but it's kind of cool because you can then see like how people are behaving on your site and when and where, you know. So
Jay,
it's
can
funny
I
because
ask a question there?
sure.
When you're looking at that information, like you said that you get a lot of visitors at 12 noon, can you use any information in Google Analytics to create a social media campaign? Like, could you parlay that into some sort of social media posting time as well? Or is there any correlation?
absolutely.
I'm guessing not, now that I'm thinking about it.
Well, I mean, you could take that information and realize that there's a lot of attrition at certain days and certain times. So you could say, okay, well, I'm going to do a social media campaign and I'm going to blast that out at this particular time. All right. So I can see that if I did a social media campaign, or even an advertising campaign around this day and time, I could probably get some good traction to the website. Yeah. Now I actually know why I'm getting a lot of hits on that particular time, and that's because I have an article on that's it's how to write an article on your lunch hour. So.
Okay.
Yeah. So there you go.
Cool.
At least that's my hypothesis. And then this box here, it shows you which pages are most popular. Okay. Now the page value that you see here is a goal that I've set. So you might not see these dollar values here. Okay. And that's I think another beast we'll get into on another day.
Another day, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then it shows you how users are active, how are they, where they are and how active are they. Okay. This one I really like. It's the sessions by device. So this tells you what devices people are using to visit your site.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see just under 60% are desktop. And that's good. I want people to be on desktop visiting my site because there's more, people tend to stay on and read longer, I think, versus mobile. Mobile's very passive, as is tablet. There's not as much action being taken on mobile and tablet. So how well do you retain your users? So this might not be applicable right away, because it's like it's saying, well, how long do they stick and how long do they stay? Do they come back? And so on and so forth. Last one here, how are your goals performing? This relates to that dollar value there.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't have any goals set up, this will be blank.
Okay.
Okay. But these are a variety of different goals that I have set up. So I can see my average goal conversion rate, which is 27%. And I can see the completions right here. And these are just internal names that I make up so I can understand them. Now, each of these boxes have a way you can learn more about that particular box. So for example, I want to know more about where people are coming from. So I'm at this, how do you acquire users?
Mm-hmm.
I click on this part, which says acquisition report. And then that will give me my report right here. So the part that I'm looking at is right here, these rows. So I can see that organic search is the prime way people are coming to the site. Some are doing direct. Now, direct means where they type it into a browser. Referral means they are coming in from some other website. And social is obviously social media. So people are coming in from, Facebook, Google Plus, Twitter, Instagram, wherever, right? Other kind of social media platforms.
Mm-hmm.
As you can see, I pay very little attention to social. Organic, in my opinion, organic search is always the way to go. Now, if I were to click on any one of these, if I click on organic search, it will give me a little bit more detail as to what's going on here. Now, again, this is you might not see this. This is something that I've set up a while ago, which estimates what keyword they're actually using. So this is an advanced thing that I set up a while ago. So, but I can go channels, go back to channels, or sorry, overview. So let's say I want to see the referrals, like where are people coming from? So if I click on referrals, I can see where people are coming from. So I could see a few people have been coming from youtubermagazine.com, which is interesting. That's actually a Medium website. And if you're wondering why there's only 10, well, that's because I have the show rows here in the bottom right set to 10, and that's the default.
Right.
So I can change that to 50. Zoom back out. And it shows me all the referrals. Okay. Now, if you wanted to change the date, so let's say I want to see the last 30 days, because this is only 7 days. So let's go date range right here, and go last 30 days, apply. Now I can see specifically more details. Now, if I click on this particular result, it actually gives me the live URL where they came from. And I can actually click on this little button, which will open up a new tab. I don't think you'll see this. So I will copy and paste it. So it shows me that this is the website that it's coming from. So I can just go and see and where the backlink is. So I can see that there's different little links here. So I can just go ahead and kind of browse through this to see where the link is coming from, right?
Mm.
So it's somewhere in here.
Must be a backlink or something.
It is. That's exactly what it is.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Here we go. There, right there. For more details, Affiliate Resources has a great breakdown of the subscription difference between Twitch affiliate and partners. So there you go. There's my backlink. Completely acquired by writing a good article.
YouTuber.
Yeah. So that's interesting. So that's kind of cool, right? So there's some value there. So I just go back to my channels and I can just, start again, And as you can see, it's very easy to go down the rabbit hole, right? Okay. And that's really it, I mean, in my opinion, just if you're just starting out, just having this home dashboard is, in my opinion, absolutely sufficient.
Mm-hmm.
From there, you can dig deeper, right? By clicking on the little extra details in that particular dashboard. So places that I think are important to look at are the acquisition, so where people are coming from, like what source, and what pages, right? So I could see what pages people are visiting. What's the most popular page? So, and then again, you can, of course, Google survey right now, right? Go to my top 50. And this is, again, see how it defaults back to that 7-day report? So let's make it 30 days. And then we can see, what people are visiting, right? So let's take a look. So we could see that this represents the home page when it's just a little / a backslash. So cool.
So it seems that in mine when I looked at it, I have more that come to the home page. Yeah.
Yeah, your homepage will be the top spot, right? Especially if you're directing people through social media or you have direct links and stuff like that. But I can see that my review, like to this particular website, is popular. I can see this particular article is quite popular. So it's good to know, right? And I can see the average bounce rate. So I can see this particular one has a very high bounce rate, and that's actually very typical to AMP results. This is an AMP result, so I'm totally cool with that. As you can see here, bounce rate less than 1%. So that's pretty cool. Again, see 94% AMP, 95. So, and you can tell that's mobile, right? And remember how I was saying I want desktop results? I'd prefer desktop results versus mobile results. So, yeah, as you can see why. Right? People just read and leave. And that's just the way it works.
It's true. I mean, I just look at my own behavior. What and when I use my my smartphone, and what and when I use my desktop. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll show you one other quick trick here within this particular area. There's something called a secondary dimension. So in essence, it's the ability to cross-reference the data that you have on your screen. So secondary dimension, so right here. Okay, you will all see that. Oh, and you can also sort your results by page title or by the URL. You know, I think that personally, I like the URL because I know exactly where it is. Now, secondary dimensions allows you to see, you know, any kind of different variables. So, for example, it says acquisition. I want to see the traffic type. So now here is the traffic type right here. So now it's breaking down the page and the traffic type. So I could see that it's organic. I could see direct.
Right.
I could see here's referral, you know, and so on and so forth.
Right.
So that is that's a nice value. So it kind of gives you an idea as to where people are coming from and specifically what page. Okay, and you can actually click on each one. So anything that's linked, and then you can then add more, you know. So if I go acquisition and I go traffic type, so you see it breaks it down just for this one particular page. So I could see within the last 30 days, 92%, just under 93% of my traffic to this particular page is from organic search. 4% is direct, where they actually typed it in, and 2.5% from referral.
It certainly tells you what. It gives you a sense of how, your marketing and how it has worked.
Correct. Or how you need to improve upon it. You know.
Yes.
And the one thing that I notice a lot of people get confused about is how do you get back, right? Like, how do you get back to where you were? Well, you can actually just press the back button, or you just go to the root of where you came from, right? So, for example, I went to all pages. You go to overview, and that kind of resets everything. Okay. And there you go. There's your crash course in analytics. There'll be a test on Monday.
Well, that certainly
Monday lunchtime.
Yeah, that's right.
Monday lunchtime. Yeah. So now, among the group, any comments or questions that you might have?
Yeah, can I share what I use? You said people use plugins. I use a slightly different plugin. So let me share this screen. I use a plugin called as Insert Headers and Footers. I hope you all can see that.
Yep.
Yeah. This is a plugin I use, and this is the code that I get from that page, embed code. So there are multiple ways of making use of Google Analytics. It need not be using a specific all-in-one SEO plugin or something else. It can be this. What this does is this plugin inserts these things ahead of every page. So
Yes.
every page will have these things. Header and footer, I can have a few things here. So,
and there seem to be a lot of things that ask you to do that. One of the things I seem to remember is Amazon. Don't you? I mean, you have to put something in a header or footer for an Amazon affiliate. Yeah.
So that is my. I mean, that's how I do it. So I use a plugin called as Insert Header and Footers, and this is the part of that. It's I'm changing the
Right.
setting for that.
So that's an alternative to the one that I'm using. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on. Any questions or comments from others? Does everybody? I mean, most of us here have a website. Are all of you using Google Analytics? No, Gina.
I would just make a comment in that. Yeah, Google Analytics. You can go as deep as you want, but you have to start.
Yes.
You better
I have a
start.
question.
Go ahead.
I'll just throw it out there. Anybody can answer who knows the answer. It's not to any one person. Google Tags, that seems to be a relatively new thing, the Tag Manager. And I'm just wondering, what's the benefits or disadvantages of using Google Tags as opposed to the UA code on your site?
Tag is supposed to help Google. It helps Google itself to classify your page into the content. It's something which helps Google to categorize your website or your pages and so on. So that's.
And does it take into consideration the fact that you may have categorized that page yourself already? Or does it just disregard that and do its own categorization?
Yeah, if it can't find the tag, it will categorize itself. If you put a tag, you're just helping them. You're nudging them in the right direction, so to speak.
If I can add to that, so Google Tag Manager is a way to stick all your codes into one place. So your Google Analytics code, your Facebook pixels, your Sumo Me code. So you can put it all. So, because I mean, as we build our website, we tend to need to have more little snippets of code in each, in the header and footer. But what Google Tag Manager does is it's a repository where you can put all of these snippets of codes, which are called containers, right? So it's like a little container of code here, a little container of code here and here. And then all you have to do is put that one little snippet of code, one code on your website, and then all the other code will load through the Google Tag Manager. So the intent is for it to be a little more convenient for you.
So you mentioned Facebook pixels. I know that's something I've heard before. Where do you get Facebook pixels? Does you get them from Facebook?
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure
again,
I'm going off topic here.
Another beast to
yeah, I was going to say maybe that's a conversation for another day.
I feel I got to yell Spartacus here.
Yeah. Okay. Lowell Ann, add that one to the list.
Google Facebook pixels.
Facebook pixels.
Right.
So
okay.
A Facebook pixel, just quickly, is a way. It's like a Google Analytics code. So it's a way to track conversions within ads.
Oh, okay. So you have to have ads up. So there's no benefit unless you have ads.
Well, I mean, not necessarily. You can have a Facebook pixel, and if you're sharing a lot on social media or through within Facebook, it's a way to look at how people are behaving from your social media posts to your website.
Okay.
Yeah, I would like to know a little more about that.
I was showing my Google Pixel.
Oh yeah, right. I was a little confused by that too. We think of Pixel as being a phone, for sure. So I'm looking at the time. I have a gazillion questions. I certainly have some problems, and I know there's a total mix-up with those UA codes on the back end of mine. Everything's showing 0. So, but I do have a better understanding of where all of the pieces need to go. So I appreciate that, Jay, a great deal. From a personal perspective, I hope everybody else found that they learned something as well. Gina's got her thumbs up there. So you want to add anything, Gina? No? And
No, I'm fine. Just for me, I'm about to do my training website, as you know, and it's ready to go. It's published. But I didn't really care about my website in the beginning because my business website was really just there to legitimize me. I actually didn't expect any traffic. So that's why I treated it differently, but I understand the value of analytics and okay. The training website will be different because it actually matters to me.
yes, it will, for sure. Right on. Cool. Happy to hear you got your site going.
Yes, it'll be on its way soon to you. I'm just changing the name so it's nicer.
Oh, right on. And as usual, Fred, have you got a last word?
Yes, thanks very much. I just want to thank Jay in particular, but everyone. I find it very informative, very helpful, and gives me a lot of ammunition. And the other thing I'd mention, the fact that this is being recorded and we can always review it again. It's very helpful, especially with all the screenshots that Jay showed us. So it's a very useful broadcast in this case because of the recording as well. We can always go back. And that's another thing that I often find. As long as I know where to find it, I can go back to any of your productions and find out details. So once again, very helpful, appreciate it, especially since I'm in the tropics of Langford as well. I appreciate that. Although next week I'll be in the Oak Bay.
Yeah,
but this week
right
I'm
on.
in the tropics with Jay. But thanks very much, Jay, in particular. That's very helpful. I appreciate it.
And Fred, thank you for mentioning that. So for anybody who is in here and needs to go back, if you go to the beingyourownCEO.com and go to previous sessions, you will find all of the recordings in there by date and topic, and the link, so you can find it there. Unless you want to go to YouTube, it's much better if you go to the website, of course.
Simply swipe your credit card and it'll be there.
Yeah, right. But again, I want to say thanks to, who did that? That's cool. It's working. And that's the page that I was struggling with yesterday. Who was sharing their screen?
That was me.
You. Thank you, Vivek. That's kind.
You're showing previous success circles. So yeah.
Yes.
What you were just referring to.
Thank you. So now I just want to let everybody know we have a special guest coming next week. Susan Joy Schlief is going to come and tell us all about her brand new book. And she'll be sharing some techniques and so forth. So that's what's on for next time. So now, folks, unless somebody's got one last thing to say, and my last thing to say is thanks so much for that, Jay. Really appreciate it. Really helped me.
I have just a few words. Just do it.
Yes.
don't be alarmed or scared by all the technical things that you have to do. Start doing it. Just do it.
Right. Okay. So now I just want to remind everyone that it's important to do what you love with passion, and we'll see you all next week.